Are you ready to learn about and master French vowels? In many aspects, this is a foundational part of French pronunciation. And sadly, what I see is that with many students, these vowels trip them up. Most French learners, when they start speaking and or when they try to understand spoken French, these are the ones that cause the most trouble. So let's dive in. 2 reasons why it's essential for you to master your French vowels. First is that it can cause some amusing and sometimes costly misunderstandings. So by mispronouncing a simple vowel, you could be saying that you have 12 kids instead of 2 kids. Listen, j'ai 12 enfants, j'ai 2 enfants. A simple slip of the tongue can cause you to say that you ate some delicious slippers instead of some delicious mussels. This actually happened to one of my students on a French retreat, immersion tour in Provence with a French host family. And it was so hard not to laugh when she told us the next morning what had happened at the dinner table with the family. When you say ce midi, j'ai mangé des mules, instead of ce midi, j'ai mangé des moules. So in this video, we will look at the vowel sounds that create the most confusion for English speakers so that you can start recognizing these mysterious letters or combination of letters. The second reason is to also focus on French vowels because it unlocks your ability to read and use a large number of cognates between English and French. Cognates are words that look the same in terms of spelling, and they also share the same meaning. There are hundreds of them in existence between French and English. Quelle chance. So simply Google the search term French cognate to find them. Once you're familiar with this list, it's great because you can start using them in your writing. However, without the understanding of the pronunciation rules, it'll be hard for you to say them clearly, intelligibly, and sadly, you probably won't be able to recognize them when you hear them either. Quel dommage. In French and English, actually, they share several vowels that are very similar pronunciation. In French, we have 7 vowel sounds that don't exist in English. Let's look at those and see the sounds and see what kind of words you'll hear them in. We have the sound U in lu, the sound E in bleu, the sound E in peur, and the sound O in sort, as well as 3 nasal sounds, un, un. That will be part of a separate video. So the difference between the vowels in French and in English is so significant that I dedicated an entire week of my 12-week Pronounce and Understand French Better program. I'll link to it below in the description. In this video, I introduce already how to say these unique French vowel sounds, and how to spell them in words. So here I will focus on the ones that differ from English. D'accord? Le son U. Le son U. Note that any accent on this letter does not change the pronunciation. In terms of mechanics, there are 2 parts. Lips are in the same position as when you pronounce ou, and the tongue is in the same position as when you pronounce I. So start with the inside mechanics, then add the mouth shape so that it's easier to feel and notice. Pro tip, use a mirror to see what you're doing. Exemple. Tu, lu, bu, nu. Voiture, Lucie, autobus, numéro. Pur, sur, rhume, cuit. Now, don't confuse it with the sound I. Say lu, not li. Vu, not vi. Or with the sound ou. In my anecdote earlier, I mentioned the difference between mule and moule. Watch out for tu versus tu and du and du. So in this video, I introduce you to more pairs to practice that difference between u and u. I will link to it here. The sound e that the letters e and u make for bleu and peur. Let's have a look at those. There's a slight change in pronunciation. The mechanics for bleu, the sound e, is a closed sound. The tongue is forward in the mouth and the lips are rounded, nearly like a pout. E. You can recognize it because u will make that sound e in most words that contain those letters. Par exemple, elle veut de jeux bleus pour être heureuse. Elle veut de jeux bleus pour être heureuse. Whereas the mechanics to make eu sound in peur, here we have a more open mouth. You should be able to see your tongue when you say with the tongue is less forward, but the lips are softly rounded. To recognize this one, you're looking for words that have eu before two consonants or the last pronounced vowel sound e, or even the combination o-e-u. Par exemple, sa sœur a peur du coiffeur. Or, achète un œuf et du beurre à la fleur de sel. In my course that I mentioned, it's called Pronounce and Understand French Better. We cover both pronunciation rules and we practice the mechanics as well as do lots of listening exercises to decipher this tricky French sound and understand lots of different challenging sounds, but we do spend a bit of time on this e versus sound. Now the sound o, the sound that the letter o makes. This vowel by itself is pronounced o. When it's a sound that's different to the English, you're going to have to pronounce it o. Both French and English share some common pronunciation of this letter. So here we'll focus on the sound o. To get the mechanics of this sound just right, you need two main things: an open mouth and a floating tongue. O. O. The tongue is floating, but it's towards the bottom. To recognize it in words, it'll be the letter O, normally pronounced O, but when it's placed before two consonants or before a final consonant which is pronounced, we will pronounce it O. Here are some examples for the first before a double consonant. O, poste, mascotte, cloche. And for the second case, where it's the last pronounced vowel, prof, note, vol, bémol. Alors, voilà, mes amis. Now you know exactly what French unique vowel sounds you need to practice and perfect to avoid any more confusion. Now, what if you're not sure how to practice these, or you need more examples to say or to listen to? Well, I've created a course which has some mini lessons, one practice session, one theory lesson, and followed by a practice session to help you pronounce and understand French better. You can check it out in the description you'll find below this video. Also, if you want to join a community of learners just like you, we have a private group on Facebook to help you unlock your French, and it's called Unlock Your French with French Speak. I will link to this online community in the description below. It's where I share lessons, practice opportunities, and challenges to help learners just like you get more confidence in learning, improving, and ultimately speaking more French. So if you liked this video, I'd be so grateful if you gave me a like, a subscribe to the channel, or share it with another someone else that you know who is actively learning French. And don't forget to comment below to let me know if this video was helpful to you and what other questions you may have. I so look forward to seeing your feedback and help you further in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Merci du fond du cœur. Thanks from the bottom of my heart. Finally, make sure you go and check out these videos on the French Speak YouTube channel to learn more about French pronunciation explained simply. If you enjoyed this video, the best way to say j'aime cette vidéo is by giving it a thumbs up. Merci d'avance.